In the wake of a tragic plane crash in Washington, D.C., former President Donald Trump has taken to the public stage to voice his controversial opinions regarding the causes of the disaster. During a recent rally, he laid blame on diversity, equity, and inclusion DEI policies, suggesting that such initiatives have compromised safety in aviation. Trump's comments have sparked widespread debate, highlighting the intersection of politics, policy, and public safety. The crash, which resulted in multiple casualties and injuries, has raised serious questions about aviation safety and regulatory practices in the United States. As investigations into the incident unfold, Trump's remarks reflect a broader narrative he has consistently pushed regarding DEI initiatives, framing them as detrimental to operational effectiveness across various sectors. He stated, "You can't prioritize diversity over ability when lives are at stake," underscoring his belief that DEI practices undermine meritocracy, particularly in critical industries like aviation. Critics of Trump's stance argue that his comments distract from the real issues at hand, such as the need for stringent safety measures and oversight in the aviation industry. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, who was appointed just days before the crash, is now faced with the challenge of addressing the implications of the tragedy while countering the narrative promoted by Trump. Duffy, a former congressman, has emphasized the importance of thorough investigations to ascertain the precise causes of the crash, stating, "We must ensure that safety is never compromised in our pursuit of inclusivity." The political fallout from this tragedy could have lasting effects on public perception of DEI policies. While supporters argue that these initiatives are essential for fostering an inclusive society, opponents like Trump leverage incidents like this to highlight perceived failures of such programs. The discourse surrounding the crash could thus influence future regulatory approaches and public sentiment towards diversity initiatives across various sectors. Furthermore, Trump's comments come at a crucial time for his political ambitions as he gears up for a potential 2024 presidential run. By positioning himself as a critic of DEI, he aims to galvanize his base, which may resonate with those who feel that traditional values in meritocracy are under threat. This strategy could lead to an intensified focus on aviation safety and regulatory reform in the months ahead, as both sides of the political spectrum seek to assert their priorities in the wake of this tragedy. As the investigation into the crash continues, the implications of Trump's remarks will likely reverberate throughout the political landscape. The debate over DEI policies is expected to intensify, with advocates for change and traditionalists clashing over the future direction of aviation safety and beyond. In the coming weeks, all eyes will be on how the Biden administration and Secretary Duffy respond to these challenges, as well as how public opinion may shift in response to the ongoing discourse around diversity and safety in high-stakes industries. The outcome of this situation could ultimately influence the broader trajectory of policy and political discourse in the United States. In a bold move that underscores the shifting dynamics of global finance, former President Donald Trump has reiterated his threat to impose tariffs as a means to dissuade BRICS nations from adopting alternatives to the US dollar. This warning arrives at a time when the economic landscape is increasingly characterized by the rise of non-Western currencies and a growing desire among several countries to reduce their dependence on the dollar, which has long been regarded as the world's primary reserve currency. Trump's comments come as BRICS, an alliance of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, continues discussions on creating a common currency aimed at facilitating trade among its members without relying on the dollar. This initiative has drawn both interest and concern from various quarters, particularly in the U.S., which has traditionally leveraged its currency's dominance to exert economic influence globally. If these nations think they can just walk away from the dollar without consequences, they are mistaken, Trump stated, emphasizing the potential retaliatory measures the U.S. could take should this trend continue. The implications of a diminished role for the dollar are profound. A significant shift away from the dollar could destabilize the American economy, which relies heavily on the benefits of having the currency serve as the world's primary medium of exchange. Economists warn that such a transition could lead to increased borrowing costs and a devaluation of the dollar, with far-reaching consequences for U.S. consumers and businesses alike. According to a recent report by the Brookings Institution, a decline in the dollar's status could increase the cost of imports and lead to inflationary pressures domestically. In the face of these challenges, Trump's administration may aim to rally support for maintaining the dollar's supremacy through aggressive policies, including the reinstatement of tariffs on countries that engage in trade practices perceived as detrimental to U.S. interests. The former president's strategy appears to be rooted in his broader approach to foreign policy, which often favors a confrontational stance over diplomatic engagement. While some analysts see Trump's threats as a political maneuver geared towards galvanizing his base, others believe it reflects a genuine concern about the shifting balance of economic power. With countries like China and Russia actively promoting the use of their own currencies in international trade, the potential for a multipolar currency system is becoming more plausible. This scenario raises questions about the long-term viability of the dollar's dominance and what that could mean for the global economy. Looking ahead, the geopolitical landscape will undoubtedly continue to evolve. As BRICS nations push for greater financial independence and a move away from the dollar, the U.S. may find itself at a crossroads, needing to reassess its global economic strategies. The coming months will likely see intensified discussions among policymakers on how to safeguard the dollar's position while addressing the legitimate concerns of countries seeking alternatives. The outcome of this struggle will not only shape the future of international finance but also redefine America's role in the global economy. In a remarkable shakeup within the FBI, senior leaders are facing an ultimatum that could reshape the agency's hierarchy. As reported by CNN, the directive for these high-ranking officials to either retire, resign, or be fired by Monday marks a significant shift in the agency's leadership approach. This decision comes amid increasing scrutiny of the FBI's operations and the political pressures surrounding law enforcement agencies in the United States. The call for leadership changes is not merely a procedural adjustment but appears to be a response to growing concerns within the government regarding accountability and transparency in federal law enforcement. One former senior official speaking on the condition of anonymity stated, "This is a critical moment for the agency. The leadership needs to reflect a commitment to integrity and public service." Such sentiments echo widespread concerns about how the FBI has navigated recent controversies, including investigations into political figures and various agency practices that have sparked debate over bias and operational effectiveness. The implications of this leadership overhaul extend beyond the immediate personnel changes. With the FBI at the forefront of national security and federal law enforcement, the potential reshuffling could influence everything from ongoing investigations to public perception of the agency. In a climate where trust in government institutions is wavering, the FBI's next steps will be scrutinized closely. The timing of this directive also coincides with heightened tensions in American politics as the Biden administration strives to balance oversight with the autonomy of law enforcement. The administration has emphasized the importance of restoring public confidence, and a change in FBI leadership may be seen as a necessary step in that direction. As one political analyst noted, this could be a pivotal moment for the Biden administration, showcasing their commitment to reforming institutions that are perceived as problematic. As the deadline looms, the fallout from this decision is likely to reverberate throughout the agency and the broader political landscape. Observers are keen to see how this shakeup will impact the FBI's operations and its relationships with other federal and state agencies. Additionally, the potential resignations or firings of senior officials may set a precedent for accountability within government institutions moving forward. Looking ahead, the FBI's leadership transition will be a critical focal point for both law enforcement and political observers. It remains to be seen how the new leadership will address the ongoing challenges facing the agency, including its role in maintaining national security while ensuring civil liberties are protected. As the agency prepares for this significant change, The coming weeks will undoubtedly unveil further developments that could redefine its path in a rapidly evolving political landscape. In a landscape marked by economic uncertainty, the recent developments surrounding former President Donald Trump's economic policies have reignited the debate on tariffs, trade, and their broader implications for the U.S. economy. As Trump embarks on a new political chapter, his approach to economic management appears poised to take center stage, with a focus on tariffs that could significantly impact both domestic and international markets. As Trump steps back into the political arena, he faces an economic environment that some analysts describe as just right. According to Bloomberg, this favorable economic backdrop could afford Trump the opportunity to implement his policies effectively. The article notes that the current administration has reported robust job growth and a resilient consumer spending pattern, setting the stage for Trump's potential reintroduction of tariffs as a tool for economic strategy. The economy is in a position where it could absorb these changes without immediate backlash, said an economic analyst who wished to remain anonymous. However, the prospect of tariffs has also drawn significant concern from various sectors. A recent piece by CNN highlighted the complexities surrounding Trump's tariffs, emphasizing that these measures, while aimed at protecting domestic industries, could provoke retaliatory actions from trading partners. Experts warn that the imposition of tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico could lead to increased consumer prices, with ABC News reporting that certain prices could rise within days if such tariffs are enacted. The unintended consequences of tariffs may outweigh the intended benefits, particularly for consumers, noted a trade economist. As the political discourse unfolds, Semaphore reported on the mixed reactions within the Republican Party regarding Trump's economic agenda. While some party members express enthusiasm for a return to protectionist policies, others caution against the potential economic upheaval that could ensue. The piece illustrated a party grappling with its identity in the wake of Trump's controversial policies, with proponents arguing that a strong stance on tariffs could resonate with the base that feels left behind by globalization. The potential impacts of these tariff policies extend beyond mere consumer prices. As the economy shifts, businesses may face difficult decisions regarding production pricing and workforce management. Industries that rely heavily on cross-border supply chains may be particularly vulnerable, prompting fears of job losses and economic instability. An industry leader commented, "If tariffs are implemented, we may have to re-evaluate our sourcing strategies, which could lead to layoffs and reduced investment." Looking ahead, the implications of Trump's economic strategies will play a critical role in shaping the U.S. economic landscape. As his administration contemplates reintroducing tariffs, stakeholders across the board, ranging from consumers to large corporations, are left to navigate the uncertain waters that lie ahead. The forthcoming months will be pivotal as the consequences of these policies begin to unfold and influence the broader economic narrative. As the political landscape continues to evolve, all eyes will be on how these economic decisions will impact not only the future of the Republican Party but the U.S. economy at large. In a rapidly evolving global landscape, the intersection of military policy, international relations, and technology continues to capture significant attention. Recent developments highlight critical shifts in defense strategies and diplomatic stances, particularly as nations grapple with emerging threats and the need for modernization in military capabilities. On January 31, 2025, the Lithuanian president expressed strong support for former President Donald Trump's ambitious NATO defense spending goals, reflecting a concerted effort among member nations to bolster military readiness in the face of ongoing Russian aggression. This endorsement underscores the urgency for enhanced defense budgets as Eastern European leaders remain wary of potential encroachments on their sovereignty. NATO's collective defense is paramount, and we must ensure our commitments translate into tangible capabilities, the Lithuanian president stated, emphasizing the necessity for unity and increased investment in defense infrastructure. In the United States, discussions around military modernization are also taking center stage. Trump's nominee for Army Secretary recently advocated for a strategic pivot towards acquiring more commercial off-the-shelf technology. This approach aims to streamline procurement processes and leverage the innovative capabilities of the private sector to enhance military effectiveness. By tapping into the commercial tech market, we can rapidly integrate cutting-edge solutions that keep our forces ahead of potential adversaries, the nominee articulated during a Senate confirmation hearing. Meanwhile, amidst these defense discussions, the Trump administration has been scrutinized for its controversial military deportation flights, a topic that has sparked considerable debate regarding humanitarian implications and national security policies. Critics argue that such actions could undermine the United States' moral standing globally, while supporters assert the necessity of enforcing immigration laws robustly. The ongoing discourse reflects broader tensions within U.S. immigration policy as the administration seeks to balance enforcement with humanitarian considerations. As these narratives unfold, they signal a pivotal moment for both American and international military policy. The alignment of defense strategies among NATO allies, coupled with innovative procurement approaches and contentious immigration policies, paints a complex picture of the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. Observers will be keenly watching how these dynamics evolve, particularly as geopolitical tensions persist and technological advancements reshape the landscape of modern warfare. In conclusion, as nations navigate these multifaceted issues, the emphasis on collaboration, modernization, and strategic investments will be crucial. The future of defense policy will likely hinge on the ability to adapt to new threats while fostering alliances that reinforce collective security. With ongoing developments in military technology and shifting international relations, the coming months promise to be critical in shaping the trajectory of global defense strategies. In a surprising turn of events, former U.S. President Donald Trump has made headlines with statements regarding the Middle East that challenge long-standing diplomatic norms. His recent comments, which emerged amidst escalating tensions in Gaza, have sent ripples through global political circles and raised questions about the future of U.S. foreign policy in the region. As the world watches closely, analysts are grappling with the implications of Trump's remarks on both diplomatic relations and regional stability. The backdrop of this political upheaval is the ongoing conflict in Gaza, which has seen a resurgence of violence that has strained relations between Israel and Palestine. Trump's comments, which appear to advocate for a more aggressive approach towards Iran and its allies, are being interpreted as a significant shift away from the more measured tactics traditionally employed by previous administrations. The status quo is no longer acceptable, Trump declared, underscoring his belief that a recalibration of U.S. strategy in the region is overdue. Critics of Trump's stance argue that such rhetoric could exacerbate tensions and lead to further instability. This kind of bombastic approach risks inflaming an already volatile situation, warned a senior analyst at the Middle East Institute. The concern is that Trump's strategy might not only alienate traditional allies but also embolden adversaries who view U.S. policy as unpredictable and aggressive. Furthermore, the timing of Trump's comments comes at a critical juncture as Iran is navigating its own set of challenges related to international sanctions and internal unrest. Iranian officials have expressed wariness toward Trump's overtures, indicating that they are cautious about engaging with a figure whose past actions have often led to diplomatic breakdowns rather than breakthroughs. We are watching closely but are not eager to respond to someone who has shown an inclination for confrontation, an Iranian diplomat stated. The potential for a renewed U.S.-Iran dialogue, however, remains a tantalizing prospect for some. Observers note that Trump's unpredictability could lead to unconventional diplomatic opportunities, albeit at the risk of significant backlash. In politics, sometimes the most unorthodox approaches yield unexpected results, commented a political strategist familiar with Middle Eastern affairs. As the U.S. grapples with its role in the Middle East, the ramifications of Trump's statements are likely to unfold in the coming months. With an eye toward the 2024 presidential election, how Trump's foreign policy narrative develops will be crucial not only for his political future but also for the stability of a region that remains fraught with tension and uncertainty. In conclusion, Trump's recent comments represent a dramatic departure from established diplomatic norms, presenting both opportunities and risks in equal measure. As the geopolitical landscape continues to evolve, all eyes will be on how these developments influence U.S. foreign relations and whether a path toward constructive dialogue can emerge from the chaos. The coming weeks and months will be pivotal in determining whether Trump's bombshell can lead to meaningful change or if it will simply deepen the divides that have long plagued the region.